Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thanks for joining me on the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama, where we talk about music, talk about records, but we also play the records, and we get to listen to them together. Today I have a live needle drop review of this Marquis Hill New Gospel Revisited album released on March 18th of 2022 on the Edition Records label. I've done several reviews from this Edition Records label, and it's a pretty good label. A lot of good artists on it, a lot of great recordings. Marquis Hill was born in 1987 in Chicago and grew up listening to a lot of Motown and R&B type music. And his music really, when you listen to his discography, I started listening to some different recordings other than this one, streaming. He really has elements of jazz, rhythm and blues, hip hop, soul. So he's very original, I think, and he says it's his mission to kind of bring all these types of music together. And but he does have rich jazz roots. You know, he celebrates the music of, Jackie McLean, Bud Powell, Lee Morgan. He started playing drums at the age of 4, and then he switched to trumpet in the 6th grade. And his influences on trumpet are Art Farmer, Lee Morgan, Clifford Brown, Donald Byrd, and Freddie Hubbard, according to an interview that I saw online a while ago. I'll go into further about this album. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the first record. It is a 2-record set. This is a revisiting of his first album called New Gospel that was released in 2011. But this is a 2-record set recorded live in Chicago that is a re-recording of a live re-recording of those songs plus 5 other original compositions. That's another cool thing about Marquis, in my opinion, is he writes a lot of his own music. So pretty cool stuff. So a lot of good players on here. I'll be going through that here as we go. I'm going to clean off the first record. This is a gatefold. It is a colored vinyl record. It's on like a bronze record here. And Edition Records does seem to put most of their stuff on colored vinyl. All the ones that I've gotten, I think almost all of them have been colored vinyl. So let me spray this off. And we're going to have a listen. This has been sitting open here for a couple of weeks. I've been wanting to do a review, and I keep getting sidetracked. Also, if you guys missed my interview with vocalist and pianist Champion Fulton, go back and check that out. It's a video before this one. Fantastic interview. I really enjoyed talking to her and learning about her career and learning about her adventures in playing jazz all over the world. So go check that out. It's a pretty cool interview, and I hope to be doing more of those. Again, I like to promote current working artists, and I think that there's so much great jazz music out there now, and we kind of forget about them because we're into all the reissues and all the classic records, but there's a lot of great jazz being made right now. And so I want to support that and keep the tradition alive. All right, so we're going to listen to this. It is a gatefold. It's average jacket. The Edition records are, not real thick, but nice gatefold. So I'm going to drop this on. We're going to listen to a couple songs off side 1, and I'll play something off the second record as well, like I always do, so you guys kind of get a feel for the record. So let's go ahead and put on side A, and let's have a listen. Guys, give a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys hanging out and subscribing to the channel. And again, this channel is all about the music, which is why I play the records for you guys. So I appreciate you guys helping promote this great music. And let me know, leave your comments, what you think of this, these reviews that I do. And I like to hear what you guys have to say. All right. This is just called the intro. It's about 1 minute and 44 seconds, and then it goes into a song called Law and Order. And again, I think this is more of a traditional jazz record compared to some of the other releases he's done, but it does kind of get out there in places. So a lot of great players on here I'll get into in just a moment. vibraphone on this album, Blue Note artist. James Francis is another Blue Note artist on piano. You got Walter Smith III, another Blue Note artist on the tenor saxophone. Fantastic tenor sax player. Harish Raghavan on bass. He's on the Whirlwind recording label. And another Blue Note artist is on the drums, which the drums sound really nice. Kendrick Scott on drums, also on the Blue Note label. So a great lineup of really just, in my opinion, some of the greatest living players you've got right now playing this kind of jazz. So as far as the recording goes, there's a little surface noise on the record. I can hear just a little bit here and there. Of course, Marquis Hill is on the trumpet. So it's a pretty clean recording. The mix is pretty good. I wouldn't say it has as much depth as a lot of the ones I reviewed. You guys know from watching my videos, I review a lot of the traditional Blue Notes and reissues and things like that. And those, of course, come from analog recordings. I would venture to say this has to be a digital recording. That doesn't mean that they don't sound good, because a lot of the digital recordings do sound good on vinyl. This is a clean recording. The drums sound really nice. I think it lacks a little bit of depth. It doesn't have quite as warm of a sound as you would get from some of the other recordings I've reviewed. Fantastic playing. Unbelievable. So, it's nothing, I say that, that it may lack a little depth or a little bit of that resonance that you hear off those other analog recordings, but it's not a bad recording, and it's not going to be anything that's going to detract from the music. Listen to this guy play. And again, remember, it is a live recording, so you have to give it a little slack. It's a live recording. We're recorded at Chicago's Constellation. So let's talk a little bit about where this was recorded and by who. The record was produced by Marquis Hill. This was mixed by Dave Vetrano in 2019 in Chicago, and mastered by David Allen 2019 in Chicago. Music, of course, composed by Marquis Hill. Was recorded live at the Constellation in Chicago by a guy named Anthony Gravino on the 8th of December 2019. Again, this was released in 2022. The Constellation was founded in 2013 and annually hosts more than 600 musicians and annually hosts more than 220 concerts. I'd never heard of this place. So even though I think this is pretty much a jazz record, there's not any hip hop or any of that kind of stuff. It does have elements of avant-garde and getting into you know, really stretching the boundaries a little bit. A lot of improvisation. Walter Smith tearing it up on the saxophone. As far as the songs go, they're varied in length, but the core pieces, you know, Law and Order is over 14 minutes, The Believer over 9 minutes, New Gospel 6 minutes, Autumn 9 minutes and 44 seconds. A Portrait of Fola is 10 minutes and 42 seconds, and you kind of have like interludes, what I would call them, between the tracks. So there's a lot of room for these guys to play on those tracks. And yet, you know, a lot of them are too long where you get, you know, too bogged down. These guys have a lot to say, and when they have a 9-minute tune, these guys aren't running out of ideas, which is wonderful. Listen to Joel Ross here on the vibes. And again, you do have a nice live sound to it. You can hear them in the background. You can. Got an hour and 16 minutes worth of music on these 2 records, and I think it's well worth looking into. Again, there's your lineup. Drums are just awesome. Yeah, pretty intense record. I'm gonna let this tune finish up, and I'm gonna put on the second record, so I'm gonna pull it out and clean it off. Sometimes I feel like a DJ here. I'm sitting here, you know, and appreciate you guys watching these videos and giving some of these new albums a chance, because most of these aren't getting any kind of attention paid to them on other channels. But you know, everybody's got their own thing they're doing, and this is just one of those missions I feel with this channel, is to really promote new music as well as doing some of the other ones. Reissues. So you get a little bit of crowd noise, you know, it does have a nice live feeling to it, you know. Leave your comments, let me know what you guys think about the colored vinyl. I'm always interested to hear your guys' feedback. Nice piano playing. It's more over here on the left side in the mix. I think one of the only other criticisms I would have would be that the bass maybe a little bit more punchy, kind of through the mix a little bit. You can hear it, it just doesn't sound, you don't hear it as clear maybe as I'd like to hear it, but that's, I'm just, splitting hairs here. It's a good sounding record, a live record. Piano's intense too. This is a great band. Check out Kendrick Scott on drums, man. Dude is bad. If you missed his solo record on Blue Note, Kendrick Scott, it's a really good record. I did a full review on that one, I think last year. We're almost through the full first side. I'm gonna go ahead and let it finish out. Then I'm gonna go ahead and drop on side C, and we're gonna take a listen to that. Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for giving thumbs up and for sharing these, for subscribing, and for sharing all these great albums with other people. Because if you listen to this here, this is some awesome playing here, and these are the guys that are stretching out and keeping new jazz alive. I mean, they're really, these guys are writing new compositions, stretching out and expanding things. And I think that that's important, as well as those that are keeping the bebop stuff alive and things like that. We need all of that. So here we got Harish Raghavan on the bass. Again, you can hear in these quiet spots just a little surface noise. So, yeah, I've said this before on these edition records, they sound pretty good, but they're not an audiophile pressing. I wouldn't call them that. Because you can hear in these real quiet passages, you'll hear just a little bit of noise here and there, which, you won't get on some of the other more audiophile pressings. But I'm gonna go ahead and put on the, oh, I hate to turn that off. this is one of those records to me that you listen to all the way through. You know, I've been listening to this on streaming, and I want to listen to all the tracks. This is definitely one of those records. I think that is a whole kind of almost a concept type of record where you've just got a great listen all the way through and a varied. Listen to that. Walter Smith. So you can hear a little pop there. All right, so that's through side A. You can hear that little bit of surface noise getting to the end there, to the inner ring. So again, pretty good sounding record, but they're not, you know, perfectly clean all the way through. But I wouldn't say that they're anything I would send back, you know, personally. All right, let's put on Autumn live. Because most of the time through the record, you don't hear much surface noise. It's just certain places, and of course the quiet places you'll hear a little bit. But all right, side C, Autumn, 9 minutes and 44-second tune. We'll go out on this and take a listen. Personally, if I was giving my recommendation, I would like to see a little heavier cardstock on these, and I just like to have it on a black piece of vinyl pressed at RTI or someplace instead of doing the colored vinyl. I know the colored vinyl is kind of cool, you know, it goes with, you know, a lot of times they do it so it goes with the artwork and stuff like that, right? So you got this with this. And I get it, you know, it's kind of cool, but at the end of the day, it's spinning on your turntable, and you know, we're not really sitting there, you're not sitting there looking at it. So for me, I'd rather just have it pressed on a black piece of vinyl, high quality, get rid of that surface noise, and to me, that's just my personal recommendation or preference or opinion, whatever you want to call it. Because this is fantastic music. This is just intense playing by everybody on here, really. They're all fantastic players. A little bit of the muted sound there, almost a little bit of Miles. So a lot of different things happening on this album. Takes you on a journey, and some of them are intense and, you know, faster paced. There's a lot of change ups and time signatures and different things going on, and there's a lot of improvisation, and there's, you know, tunes like this that are more mellow and laid back. He's got 14 albums as a leader right now, and I think he's on over 13 or 14 as a sideman. So he's compiling a nice discography. Go check him out. He's also heavily involved in jazz education as well. So maybe at some point, I'd love to get him on for an interview, as I would several of these jazz musicians. So for that matter, any member of this band I would love to have a conversation with, because they're all incredible. All right, folks. Well, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't. Give a thumbs up. Share these videos with other people. Spread the word on this great music that we have access to. And we'll see you on the next video. And happy listening to all of you.